The year is 2024, and yet one of the most discussed topics around Facebook ads is still, what is the best Facebook ad account structure? Is it ABO or CBO? Do I use bid caps or highest volume? Do I still test lookalikes, or what about retargeting? Or how about if I'm spending $100 a day or if I'm spending $10,000 a day? Well, in today's video, we're gonna cover all of that, and as a bonus, because I know you clicked this video to ultimately increase your Facebook ads performance, at the very end, I'll show you my number one Facebook ad hack to ultimately drive your performance completely through the roof. What's going on, guys? It's Spencer here, and if you're new to the channel, I run a growth-focused agency by the name of Easy A Media. And at our agency, we help brands with purpose ultimately accelerate their growth. And if you're a returning viewer, you'll notice that I've got a little bit of a crispier camera here, which I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing. I feel like seeing me in 4K is a little scary.
What?
I'll be seeing more than you need to. But with that said, in today's video, like I mentioned at the beginning, we're going to be jumping into Facebook ad account structure and looking at my favorite ad account structure to scale our brands to the upwards of $40,000 a day in spend. Now, one thing that I want to address at the very beginning of this video is that we have seen ad accounts with phenomenal ads and terrible management still get incredible results on Facebook. But I have yet to see an ad account with great management and terrible ads actually get results on Facebook. The one thing that I just want to emphasize more than anything else is that I know you're watching this video to try to increase your Facebook ads performance, and I love that. And I'm actually going to give you my favorite strategy. Again, not the best strategy, but my favorite strategy to ultimately help you drive your performance further. But please do not rely on these strategies that I'm about to give you to ultimately drive your performance. I know Facebook has metrics that says, creative is only about 60 or 55% or whatever that is. Honestly, in 2024, outside of your product, creatives are probably responsible for 80 to 90% of the total account performance that you see. Let's go ahead and jump into the exact ad account structure that our agency uses to manage millions of dollars a month in spend and help our clients scale further. All right, so as you can see, we're now on the screen, and I just want to call out that yes, I have brought up a bit of a bigger ad account. This account's spending about 3.4K a day, and we're actually scaling right now as we just found a new winning ad, which I'm going to get to very shortly. But I do want to clarify that this works on all size of ad accounts. I'm going to show you some different size ad accounts as well. But the reason why I've pulled up a bigger ad account that is getting a really good return on ad spend or a really good cost per purchase is because I know that there's going to be people watching this like, what does this guy know about Facebook ads? This strategy seems crazy. I'm not going to listen to him. So hopefully you appreciate some bigger, cooler numbers. Now, with that said, the first campaign that I actually have selected here is going to be what we call our acquisition campaign. Now, it is called an acquisition campaign because it does exactly that. This campaign will do everything for you. It will retarget, it will cold prospect, it will hit your video views, it'll hit your Instagram engagers, it will do everything. And the way that it's able to do that is because we are targeting fully broad, okay? We are not using lookalikes, we are not using interest. The only thing that we're actually doing here is excluding purchasers from the last 30 days, so that way we can target a little bit more colder, meaning that, we're going after new customers. But this is one single location, 25 to 65 plus, all genders. It is that simple. It is wide open. We do not care about testing interest or lookalikes in this campaign. And the reason why is because Facebook will deliver ads beyond any audience that we give it. And if you haven't seen my Mythbusters video, I actually explain this a little bit more in depth. But just know that we are going completely what I like to call unrestricted. Big shout out to Nick as well. And at the end of the day, our goal in this campaign is to test and find winning ad creative. And on a more technical note, obviously, as you can see, this is a CBO budget, and I will explain that very shortly. So in this campaign, as you can see, we are testing DCTs each and every single week. Now, to keep our clients anonymous, I'm just having things kind of crunched up a little bit here. But as you can see, we have some active DCTs, and we also have a champions campaign here as well. And the reason for that is because whenever we find new winning ads, like we just did in these two here, we will take that winning ad and we will drip it into the actual champions ad set here, which has a catalog of all of our actual winning ads. Now, why are we running this CBO one campaign fully wide open structure? We're doing that because we're basically giving Facebook the wheel and telling it to find our customers for us and do what it knows how to do best. And that's the exact reason why we also use DCTs, also known as dynamic creative tests, inside of Meta, because we want to give Facebook the ability to choose which ad copy, which headline, and which creatives actually go together. And if you're wondering how we actually structure our DCTs, we follow something called the 3-2-2 method, which basically means 3 visuals, ideally 3 videos or 3 images, 2 pieces of body copy, and 2 headlines. And again, Facebook is going to prioritize the spend because we are leveraging CBO budget to tell us which ads are actually the best and are going to deliver us the best results. If you're wondering, well, whenever I run ads like this, I have other ones with engagement, and because those ones have engagement, they don't get any spend. That is completely false. It does not matter how much engagement your existing ads have. And again, the whole reason why we are leveraging this strategy more than anything is, number one, it's extremely simple. Number two, it allows us to put the emphasis on what matters most, which is the actual creatives themselves. And number three, which is my personal favorite, it is the most budget efficient. Rather than wasting $100 or $200 on an ABO ad set, forcing spend on ads, I can just put ads into this campaign and Facebook's gonna tell me whether or not they're actually good based on one simple metric. Did it get spent? If an ad gets spent and is hitting your target KPI, it's a good ad. If an ad doesn't get spent or it doesn't hit your target KPI, it's not a good ad. And it makes our media buying strategy very, very simple inside of this single acquisition campaign. Now, a few other things I want to add is that if you are targeting multiple countries, you should definitely split those up. Now, in this instance, could we run US and Canada because they're the same English speaking languages? We probably could, but in this instance, we've actually found that there are specific ads that perform better in Canada compared to the US, and we also sometimes make some Canadian specific ads. We love to poke fun at ourselves. And so that's why we have those separate. And of course, if you were targeting a bunch of different other countries, you should definitely split those up as well. And then another thing that I'll note too is that you can also split this up based on objective. For example, we have a client that sells pendants and belts and hats and a bunch of different products. And what we've actually done for them is split it into a few different objectives. So one objective is just for the pendants. Another objective is just for the belts. And by doing it that way, it allows you to continue to sell through inventory on some specific products depending on what your situation is like. At the end of the day, we like typically consolidating everything down just into a single campaign and just having a hero product that absolutely crushes for us. Now, in regards to the overall acquisition campaign, if you have any other questions about this, definitely feel free to drop a comment below, or even better, feel free to click the link in the description. There's actually a free Skool community where I explain how to set this up and how to actually do this all on your own. Now, the next campaign that I want to talk about is something that I'm sure a lot of you are familiar with, and it is the Advantage Shopping campaign. And the reason why I want to bring this up is because we've actually seen Advantage Shopping campaigns doing really well as of late. And so what we've started doing, very similar to how we have a champions ad set inside of our main acquisition campaign, we basically take all of our winning ads as post IDs. Don't forget, make sure you use post IDs. If you need help on how to find post IDs, there is another video on my channel. My editors are going to put it up here, and it will actually show you how to get those post IDs. And for some of our clients, we're also just putting DPAs inside of this Advantage Shopping campaign, and we're seeing that absolutely crush as well. Though I do just want to note that we are using Advantage Shopping campaigns as complementary campaigns, and we're basically taking all of our winning ads from our main acquisition campaign and dripping that into the Advantage Shopping campaign, and also at times putting our dynamic product ads if it makes sense for that specific client. And now the third and final campaign that we're going to be talking about is our promo style campaign. And the reason why we create a separate campaign for any kind of promo or any kind of sale that we're running for our clients is because we don't want to interfere with what we're doing in our Evergreen campaign. A lot of the times whenever people run sales or run some kind of promo, they completely take their eye off of anything that's happening on the Evergreen campaign, or even worse, sometimes they just turn it off completely. So this is your friendly reminder, just because you're running the sale doesn't mean you turn off your Evergreen campaigns. But with that said, inside of this campaign, we do get a little bit cute with the targeting. And the reason why we actually do that is because we found for these promo periods, we actually want to force Facebook to spend and have a higher frequency on some of these, more in-depth audiences. So I know if this is contradictory to what I was just talking about, how, Facebook does everything for you. But the reason why we do it for promos specifically is because of one simple metric, and that metric is frequency. So by creating 2 custom audiences, which are called Hot 90 and Warm 60, we are able to actually target some of these audiences that are a little bit deeper in the funnel. And again, we only ever do that in this promo campaign because we want people to see these ads over and over again. And as you can see, Facebook actually already knows to do this because in this broad ad set that we actually set up, it had an extremely high frequency for the limited time that we ran it anyhow. So with all that said, those are the 3 main campaigns that we actually run at our agency and are ultimately my favorite ad account structures when it comes to running and scaling Facebook ads in 2024. Now, I did say if you hung around all the way to the end, I would actually give you my #1 Facebook ad hack. And that hack is actually going to be an ad that I want you to create. What ad am I actually talking about? Well, I'm actually talking about everybody's favorite us versus them. If you have not tested us versus them ads, I would highly recommend that you do. And I'm actually going to give you a little bit of a trick that you can use to test different awareness levels while actually creating these ads. So one of the best things that you can do is test a product aware us versus them, which is where you compare 2 products that are the same. And to be honest, we have seen this crush time and time again. But one of my favorite ways to also do an us versus them ad is comparing it to something that is a solution. Okay, so in this instance, rather than comparing a slide board to a slide board, we're actually comparing a slide board to a separate solution. And so if you can take an understanding of market awareness levels and apply them to your ads, that is an absolute hack when it comes to creating Facebook ads. I see so many times people just copying ads that they see out there, whereas what I'm telling you to do is to go and study your market, do the research to figure out who your customer is, and start testing some of these us versus them ads with different market awareness levels. Honestly, whenever we get into an account, that's probably the #1 ad that we will create, and we see it crush time and time again. So if you were hoping for some kind of bid cap or highest volume strategy, I hate to leave you on a sour note, but I'm telling you, if you really want performance, test an us versus them, test different levels of market awareness inside of that, and I hope it absolutely crushes for you. Well, if you made it all the way to the end, thank you so much for taking the time to watch this week's video. All I ask on these videos is that if you enjoyed, to share this with someone else who you also think could get value. And if you do happen to have a 7-figure Shopify business and you're looking to get to multiple 7 or 8 figures, I would highly encourage you to grab a time with my team down below and get a custom action plan from our team. And if you're just starting out or you're looking to get a little bit closer and better understand what myself and my agency actually do, I also have a free Skool community that is linked below for you to join. With all of that said, thank you so much for taking the time to watch this week's video, and I'll see you next week.